Today's award recognises Richard Taylor's outstanding contribution in the fields of digital media, special effects and animation. In New Zealand and internationally, it also recognises his special relationship with this university and ongoing support for the College of Creative Arts, its students and its graduates. Chancellor, I present to you for the award of Doctor of Fine Arts honoris causa, Sir Richard Leslie Taylor.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present Sir Richard Leslie Taylor the graduation in the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts honoris causa of this university.
Well, I think it'd be no mystery to anyone as to why we'd recognise someone like Sir Richard Taylor. He is a person that's done two things which we think are very important for the country. One is he's built an industry here around Weta Workshop, which has meant that many people from around the world come here to Wellington. They come to New Zealand because of the expertise he's built, the large number of people he employs. He employs many Massey graduates, for example. So he's a wonderful example of a new enterprise built up in this country. But the second thing I think Richard has done is he's cracked an attitude. The attitude used to be you couldn't do this kind of thing in New Zealand. You had to go to Burbank or somewhere else around the world. It was impossible to build an industry like this here. So I think he's one of those leading New Zealanders who has changed the way New Zealanders think about the world. And for those two main reasons, I think he's seen these days as one of the defining New Zealanders. And for us, he's certainly a defining alumni of this university, and we think he deserves the kind of recognition we're giving him today.
Well, I've had a long association with Massey. Originally, when it was Wellington Polytech, I graduated with a diploma in visual communication, but I've always considered that what we do in our company is fine art. It may be for the commercial endeavours, but it is still wielding your inner passion, your creative arts to do something fantastic, something beautiful, something that will improve and enhance people's entertainment experience. And so being recognised in a fine art doctorate like this is both overwhelming and really heartwarming for me.
And casting your mind back to your time at school of design, what were the key things you learned and have used to help with your career?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that over the last 24 hours and thought of this graduation, and obviously I learned a huge amount of technical skill, artistic inspiration, but I think probably one of my core learning benefits above all else was the understanding of how to work and therefore how to potentially manage other artists, which is ultimately what I now do in my career. I'd gone to a Maori boys boarding school and I had no experience of socialising with women other than my partner Tanya at any great level. So coming to Wellington Polytech, where 50% of the class were women, allowed me an opportunity to learn how to interact with people in general, women specifically, at a creative and professional level, and that has paid so paid off so well in my career because now 50% of our workshop are women, and it's given me a greater and better understanding. So it's an odd answer, but probably an appropriate one for what the Polytech offered.
I mean, you've created a whole industry providing jobs for many people, including a number of Massey graduates. I mean, what are your motivations there?
Well, we're thought of as a film effects company. We're not. We're a creative facility servicing the world's creative industry, and we're only as good as the people that gather around us and helps us make the art that we do. Basically, we're a business that makes things with our hands, and we therefore have to find passionate, innovative, creative Kiwis to help fuel the work that we do, to keep our clients inspired, keep our clients coming back. And the most obvious and most successful place to turn to is Massey and Vic, and the two universities within our own city is able to give us an amazing choice of creative talent. But the greater New Zealand community as well engenders innovation and creativity in young New Zealanders, which we benefit so greatly from.
So what can Massey do to ensure that it produces people with the sort of creativity and business now that you've achieved and you've just been talking about?
There's so many aspects to how a young person enters a university and ultimately leaves feeling empowered to take on the world, feels capable of becoming a professional, dynamic, creative in the world's industry. And I guess if we take a page from our own book at the workshop, it's about empowering young people to believe sometimes in a level of expectation beyond what they already have, that the world offers opportunities. New Zealand offers creative opportunities of the wildest and most exuberant level. You don't have to settle for the simple path. If you push hard and expect a lot of yourself, there is such incredible creative wealth out there to be had and to be fulfilled by. And I think a university such as Massey has the opportunity to inspire in people that the education that you've gained may be one milestone, but it's how you carry yourself forward, obviously drawing on that education, but what you use from inside you to inspire your potential clients, your employers, and ultimately your colleagues and business partners into doing a great deal on the world stage.
So you say that the town-gown relationship is still very relevant?
The
town-gown relationship?
I think so. I think it's still very relevant. It will be interesting. We're in a very dynamic, changing world right now, and the graduates that leave today are not going to be the same graduates that leave 5 years from now in their mentality and how they think about entering the workforce. The opportunities, although competition is incredibly tough and dynamic, the opportunities are ever increasing and exponentially growing because of the new media opportunities that are out there. And design and art-minded creatives can be driving that forward. New Zealand is perfectly placed to capture a big chunk of that on the world stage.
Yeah, well, that leads to the last question. I mean, how do you think the international image of New Zealand has changed in the past 20 years, and what's the contribution of film to that?
Well, there's no doubt that the world perceives New Zealand in a very different way than, we're no longer perceived as the breadbasket of the South Pacific. We're seen as a country of dynamic creatives and IP developers. It's going to be what's in the minds of young New Zealanders that will drive our country forward in the next, going into the new millennium. There's no doubt about that. It's how we trade in creative thought, intellectual property development, and how we carry that at a business level out to the world. Film is interesting because film is a very dynamic medium that can reach a huge percentage of the world's population. It arguably is the last way that you can really reach the mass, through mass media, take a message to a huge percentage of the world that has an impact because of its creative content. And there's various films in the last 20 years has had that impact and brought awareness to our country that not only has obviously brought the eyes of the world onto New Zealand, but more importantly empowered young New Zealanders to believe that they can have a creative place in the world. And I think ultimately, for all that the film industry's done, that's possibly the most important thing, because it's told people like I was when I was younger that you can have a future in the arts. There is a career out there for you, and whether it be in film, theatre or any other creative field, it's out there and it's waiting for you, and you can do it. And you can do it in New Zealand, which is pretty cool.
Thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.